streaming on Twitch. Let's see if there's audio. We're streaming on Twitch. Check one. We are. Now that actually looks pretty good. Okay. I'm using a new image capture this time. And Dementia Radio now. And recording now.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Welcome, people. This is Devo Spice with a quick catch-up episode of the FuMPCast. This is episode 668 of the Funny Music Podcast for April 6th, 2023. The title of this week's episode is Irate Rain, and it is actually Sunday, April 9th, which is Easter Sunday, but more importantly, and I do insist this is more important, today is Tom Lair's 95th birthday, so happy birthday, Tom. So let me tell you why I have to do a makeup episode.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke bailed and didn't show up.
Hey, what? Oh, he's right.
So first of all, Luke is off at DreamHack this weekend, so he will not be joining me. He is busy, doing cool things at a cool convention. But more importantly, me. Last week, I spent the week in North Carolina because my son's swim team made nationals for the YMCA championships. So we drove down on Sunday. We're planning to drive back on Saturday, and I didn't know how much time I was going to have during the week, and I figured it'd just be easier if we pre-record all the interviews, and Luke and I do a quick version of the podcast, and I edit it together later and get it posted for Thursday. And the reason I thought we were going to have to do that is because normally with this setup that I have here, I use that monitor over there and have Zoom on full screen, and then in OBS I'm doing a window capture, so I'm capturing the entire display. And driving to North Carolina, I'm not bringing an external monitor with me, so I didn't know if I was going to be able to cast and still capture Zoom. So I did a quick test while I was down there. Because OBS also has an application capture where you can capture one window from an application. However, in the past when I've tried that, the performance was terrible, so I wasn't able to use it. But I tried it. I'm on a new computer. OBS has been updated multiple times, so I was like, let's try it again, and it works. The application capture works just fine. So I was like, okay, cool. So I can keep Zoom in the background, do a window capture of that, let it run, and I can cast using just my laptop and not have to worry about an external monitor. So I was like, great. So I told Luke, I'm like, yeah, we'll do the show normal time tonight. And I had planned to pre-record. I had pre-recorded the interview with YerDad already, and I had planned to pre-record with Derwood. And then I told Derwood, I'm like, hey, we're doing the show live if you want to come on the show live. And he was like, yeah, let's do that. So then Thursday night, at about 6:30, I got a text from a coworker who said, hey, how are those edits coming on that project you're working on? And I was like, you mean those edits I was going to start working on tomorrow morning? Those are due tonight? Oh, I missed that. So I had to log back on and do some stuff with work, and I was stuck doing stuff with work until about 11:30 at night, and by then it was too late to start the show because Darren had to go to sleep because he had to get up and swim the next morning, so I didn't want to keep him up late. So that's why the show didn't happen on Thursday. And then on Friday, I was planning to pre-record with Derwood in the afternoon, and then on Friday afternoon, Darren decided that he wanted to go home on Friday rather than Saturday. So we spent Friday afternoon driving back to New Jersey, and then I had to reschedule Derwood's interview, which we couldn't get together until last night. So we were finally able to get together last night. So I now have Derwood's interview recorded, and now I can actually do the show. So here we are. That's about it, really. So let's get right into things. Speaking of Derwood, here is the first song of the week. This is Blaming the Wrong Person by Derwood Bowen.
said delivery would be a 30-minute wait. Sitting impatiently in my house, dude shows up at my door 45 minutes late. Says there was an accident, backed up traffic for 5 blocks and he got stuck. But you're the one standing there with my old cold pizza.
It's all your fault, you incompetent schmuck! Blaming the wrong person! Blaming the wrong person! Blaming the wrong person! Blaming the wrong person!
My boss at the office gave me hell because I was late getting one of my reports in. I told him of the many sales calls on my plate and how the secretary could have done more than testing pens. I showed up late the next day with my boss explaining why that's unacceptable, while my roommate failed to remind me to set my alarm.
It's his fault, he's irresponsible! Blaming the wrong person! 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 Aw, crap, I was only supposed to sing that 4 times. I got distracted. Well, it was this girl that was dancing in minimal clothing that distracted me. I know what you're saying, it's not her fault she was distracting you, it's your fault for not closing your browser. Verizon hacked my phone, I swear they freaking did. I would never watch that, I got a girlfriend with kids. I think their manager is jealous of mine with her. She's in conventions on me by getting drama stirred. Blaming the wrong person! Blaming the wrong person! Blaming the wrong person! Blaming the wrong person!
I swallowed my juice wrong and nearly choked.
Blame the manufacturers for not having a warning label saying that could happen!
I was walking to the store and got rained on.
Blame the mayor for not putting some kind of canopy over the entire city!
I wasn't looking when I pulled into a parking spot at the grocery store and crashed my car into a cart corral.
The managers need to get rid of those things and keep all the carts in the store!
All the problems in this country? Prices too high? Crime too high? People can't agree on their opinions?
Blame the president! Blame the president! Blame the president!
Unless you voted for the president, in which case blame the candidate that lost for seeking retribution.
Blaming the wrong person! Blaming the wrong person! Blaming the wrong person! Blaming the wrong... Why did the music stop? There was supposed to still be music going! This is all your fault, Matthew McConaughey! Somehow, it's your fault. First illogical scapegoat I could think of.
I'm here with Derwood Bowen. Welcome to the FuMPCast, Derwood.
Thank you.
I believe this is it's not your first time on the show, but I think it should be your first time on the video show, but that doesn't matter because you don't have a camera at the moment, so.
Right.
Yeah.
This was my second time on the show, yeah.
Okay. So tell us about this song you posted.
So blaming the wrong person. I was inspired by seeing a lot of things where people take their anger out on all the wrong people because it's more convenient for them. I've seen various examples, obviously, with for example, the verse about the person standing at the door with the old cold pizza, even though it's not their fault, it was late.
Right.
Was a personal experience from when I was a pizza delivery driver and all the frustration was taken out on me. But I've also observed patterns in general about, people blaming all the wrong people, and especially with here recently on Facebook, people like to blame the president for everything wrong with the country.
Right. Yeah.
And it's
well, that goes back many, many years.
Right. Well, yeah, I don't have all that many years of experience on this planet, but yeah. But one of the things that I wanted to make sure of was that I didn't really want to get super political, as if expressing opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the whole line about the blame the president, unless you voted for the president, in which case blame the opposing candidate, was my way of making sure I didn't express any kind of actual political opinion.
No, that's a good way to straddle that line there.
Yeah.
And you're not, naming any particular president, so you're in the clear here.
Right. and that was my intent with that. So in the process of observing all this stuff about observing all these people getting angry at the wrong people when it's not necessarily their fault, inspired me to kind of create a caricature of that kind of behavior within a song. And at the time, so I'm thinking, okay, well, what's like a good sound I could have for a song that's supposed to be kind of angry sounding but comedic at the same time? And I'm like, well, I'd heard like maybe 2 or 3 songs by Psychostick.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, that band sounds like the perfect band to try to sound like for this song. In order to do so, I had to like go through and listen to their albums so that A, I could get a feel of their sound.
Yeah.
And B, make sure they didn't already do a song on the same subject.
This is actually a song a topic that they would cover. This is the type of song they would do.
Right. So I had to make sure that I wasn't about to do something they already did.
Yeah.
So
it does sound very Psychosticky, I guess would be a word if that was an actual word. But yeah, I enjoyed this one. The music is very cool. Did you do the music yourself or did you hire somebody to do it?
I actually did it myself. I actually do all my own music on my computer. So I've got I've got all the programs I need to actually assemble everything together and be able to make my backing tracks.
Excellent. Very cool. So we haven't heard from you in quite some time. I wasn't sure if you were still in the music making scene or not.
Right. Yeah, I hadn't really been kind of in sort of the FuMP area for a little while, and I guess life kind of got in the way at one point, and it was just kind of a long story. But
I know how life can be. It gets in the way very often. Yes, I understand that.
Right.
But it's great to have you back making doing music again. I've heard that you are going to be working with Needle Juice Records.
I mean, Jace did the mastering for my album, so that's what.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So he's mastered my last 4.
Okay. Cool.
So
do you have a new one coming out?
I just released a new one called Ace of All Trades.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Yeah.
Send me the info and I will announce that.
All right. Yeah, definitely. It's out there. It's on Bandcamp, iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff. I just released it in the middle of February. So.
Oh yeah, I absolutely missed that. I did not hear about this somehow.
All right, but yeah. And I decided to go with that song on it because, like, I've been performing at local open mics here in Columbus, Ohio, which is where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems to be the one that, like, everyone seemed to latch on to. Is like, this is great. This is,
How's the performance been going?
It's been going pretty well. It's, giving me a chance to get myself out there and, find a new audience and meet new people.
Cool.
Beyond that, I haven't had much reach outside of Columbus, but I'm, hoping to at some point.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I will definitely check out your album. I'm sorry I missed it. I don't know how I missed it, but
all right.
I don't know where you announced it, but I didn't see it. Blame the algorithm. So do you have anything you'd like to plug?
I mean, I already plugged my album, but all my stuff is out there. On Bandcamp, derwoodbowen.bandcamp.com. All my stuff is out there on iTunes, Spotify, all that. So just search Derwood Bowen and
All right.
And the new album is called Ace of All Trades.
All right. Yeah, I would definitely be checking that out. All right. So thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
And we will catch you next time.
All righty. Thank you.
This is the FuMP.
Inclusion over isolation.
It's all about democracy. the G-O-P. Yeah!
See a couple of dorks with more love than they have got. When they see us holding hands, they wish that they were geeks in love. And when they hear our favorite bands, they wish that they were geeks in
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. TheFumP.com.
Oh, the big 5-0. It hits you like a bomb. Your libido is waning and your memory is gone. You can well not say goodbye to get up and go. Howdy do, welcome to the big 5-0.
Time for funny music news. Something, something, something.
In the news, I forgot to unmute myself. The Logan Whitehurst IndieGoGo for the Your Friend Logan documentary is up to $10,211, roughly half of the $21,000 goal. They have 15 days left. If you'd like to get in on this, go to igg.me/@/yourfriendlogan. Or if you just search Your Friend Logan on IndieGoGo, you will probably come right up. This year's April Fool's newsletter went out last week on April Fool's Day, including things like the Working with the FuMP compilation, Lee's promotion, Shoebox's Grammy win, Jeff Whitmire's kidnapping, Steve Goody's new project, and on and on and on. If you are not on our mailing list, you can view this online at tiny.cc/FUMP042301. So that's April of 2023 and then 01 for April 1st. So tiny.cc/FUMP042301. And quick side note, I was planning to make that Working with the FuMP compilation an actual thing that you can order, and I just didn't have time. So, sorry. Psychostick has announced their new tube promotion, the Alien Tube. This includes a t-shirt, a signed Alien Tube secondary tube mouth, copyright infringing magnets, the out-of-print amazing vintage poster, the Alien Venom sack, which are balloons, the Alien Tube instructional pamphlet and warning sheet, and other weird Psychostick bullshit, as they say. Last year, when they did the tube promotion, they included things like raw uncooked spaghetti, which they just poured into random tubes. So if you order the tube, you will get at least the t-shirt and some other cool stuff, and lots of other weird stuff. So check out psychostick.com for this year's tube promotion. Richard Cheese has a new album out called Live from Hollywood, which is a live recording from his first concert post-lockdown. Features 25 tracks of favorites in front of a live audience. You can order yours at richardcheese.bandcamp.com, and it is also available on streaming. Oh, yeah, that's me. Sorry, Wildcard. My bandwidth has gone down to 0, which means this is probably going to stop, and I'm probably going to have to restart it. Crap. Yep, let's stop that. As soon as OBS decides to actually stop the stream. Should I just... I dropped off Dementia Radio too. Wow. My internet must have completely died. All right, let's quit. You know what? Let's force quit OBS. And let's restart OBS. Wow, I lost everything. Zoom just stopped. Okay, Zoom is back. And let's get OBS. And I'm not editing this out of the audio version, by the way, so you're going to have to just deal with it. All right, now I got to reset up my display capture. Zoom. Nope. Is it Zoom meeting? There it is. Okay, that looks good. Go back to the news. All right, let's start the stream again. Connecting. And let's see if that works. Testing. Am I back on Dementia Radio? I should be. There we go. Okay, so back on Dementia Radio and back on Twitch. Okay. I don't know what happened. I'm guessing my bandwidth went down to 0. But not only that, Zoom crashed. So we're off to a good start. All right. Now, where was I? All right, I announced the Richard Cheese album. I don't know who heard what, but there's a new Richard Cheese album at richardcheese.bandcamp.com, and that's where I left off. Bonnie Gordon's new album, Con Artist, is now available on all the major platforms. This is a collection of mostly jazz covers with only a couple of funny songs, but you can pick it up at bonniegordon.bandcamp.com, and it is available on streaming. Speaking of available on streaming, Luke Ski will be putting his albums up on streaming, and Fourth Grade Talent Show is now available. Luke says, I'll be posting one of my previous albums in reverse chronological order every 2 weeks, so fans can listen to them each again over the summer leading up to the new Top 50 poll. Yes, Luke will be doing a new Top 50 poll this August, so be sure to catch up on all of his music before then. And speaking of Luke has a new song out. You know, he just released a new album, so you got to put a new song out. Those are the rules. He says, haven't watched season 1 of The Ghost of Molly McGee and need a quick recap before starting season 2? You're in luck. Here's a new parody song by the great Luke Ski called The Ghost and Molly McGee, with a video edited by Chandler. I don't know how to say his last name. I apologize. I'm guessing a De Rocher. This is available on YouTube on the Starpoint 97 channel. If you search for Luke Ski, The Ghost of Molly McGee, or the podcast without cool acronym, it will probably show right up. Lauren Mayer will be doing a live one-woman show called Don't Mind Me, I'll Just Sit Here in the Dark, based on her latest album. This is taking place at the Marsh Theater in San Francisco as part of their Monday Night Marsh series. Each evening features 3 different performers doing an excerpt from their solo show, so this won't be her entire show. She will be performing there on April 10th and 24th, both at 7 p.m. For tickets and information, go to themarsh.org/MNMarshStream. MN for Monday night. So themarsh.org, MNMarshStream. And finally, the FuMPCast episode 572 was removed from YouTube last week for violating their terms of service. We don't know why. This was the episode from June 3rd, 2021, titled The FuMP and the Furious. It featured guests Chris Mezzalesta and Steve Goody talking about their songs Red Beans and Rice and QAnon Girl, respectively. And we have no idea what YouTube objected to. I reviewed the episode. I didn't listen entirely, but I listened to it and I kind of fast forwarded through things. And I don't know what they're objecting to. They're claiming they were violated their part of their terms of service that covers hate speech and inciting violence. So, okay. The only thing I could think of was that they were objecting to Steve's song QAnon Girl by itself, but that video is still up on YouTube in other capacities, so probably not. We appealed the decision. It was immediately denied, and now the channel has a strike on it. So we still don't know what it was they were objecting to. They won't tell us, but it certainly gave me an irate reign. So there. All right, tour dates. On Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goody hosting at the Bluebird. On Mondays, online, Steve Goody and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. On the 7th in Tucson, Arizona, Steve Goody. On the 7th, online, Mikey Mason. On the 8th in Phoenix, Arizona, Steve Goody. On the 9th in Van Nuys, California, Steve Goody. And many more places to be determined with Steve Goody. On the 12th in Redding, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. On the 15th in Branchburg, New Jersey, Carla Ulbrich. All right, and birthdays, because the show was late, we missed it, but yesterday, the 8th, was Rand Bellavia of Ookla the Muck's birthday. Happy birthday, Rand. And today's birthday, Lindsay Smith, Linzilla. Happy birthday, Lindsay. All right, second song of the week, the return of YerDad. Now, a quick note about this interview. On the video portion anyway, YerDad wants to do this whole bit anonymously, so he's not showing his face or anything. But for some reason, Zoom just froze on my face whenever he was talking. Speaking of which, Zoom just crashed again. What the hell? Okay, well... Did I go back to... I lost my bandwidth again. Okay. And we're back there. We're back on Dementia Radio. Restart the Twitch stream. I got to stop the Twitch stream on OBS. I got to wait for OBS to realize it can connect to the Twitch stream. I might have to force quit OBS again. Man, if anyone wants to run fiber to my house, I would fucking pay for that. Come on. Let's do this. I'm going to have to force quit OBS again, aren't I? Yep, I am. Yep. Force quit OBS. And back to OBS. Relaunching OBS. Nope, don't need the news again. Let's go. We need to go to display capture, and we need to capture Zoom's meeting. Okay. Zoom. All right. Let's start streaming on Twitch again. And we are back on Twitch. Let's see if there's audio. Seeing if there's audio on Twitch. Let me reload the page. And Twitch audio. Yes, we have audio. Okay. Aggravating. Okay, the last thing you heard on the stream was Carla Ulbrich, so you missed the birthdays. All right, let me do the birthdays again. So, because the show was late, we missed it, but yesterday was Rand Bellavia of Ookla the Muck, so happy birthday, Rand. And today, is Lindsay Smith's birthday. Happy birthday, Linzilla. All right, second song of the week is by YerDad, and for some reason, Zoom, when I did this interview, instead of cutting to a blank screen or a graphic whenever he was talking, it just froze my face. So, those of you watching on the chat, thank you for your patience with all this technical crap going on. But when it freezes on me, that's normal. I was going to put a graphic in, edit it, but I just didn't have time. So apologies for that. But here is JFC by YerDad. Oops, that's song one. Sorry.
This the word of God, check the Bible, homie. This the word of God, check the Bible, homie. This the word of God, check the Bible, homie. This the word of God. Hopped up off the cross with two middle fingers wagging, so the paparazzi suck it, then hopped in that G-Wagon. Had to scoop a couple bitches from the town of Jerusalem. Jesus fucking Christ, you know that dude seducing them. Got a couple blunts and we're pouring up the Henny, bumping, snooping Dr. Dre, but the bottle's getting empty. Jesus doesn't give a fuck, he just snaps a couple fingers and he turns the Fiji water to a bottle full of liquor. Make some fucking noise for the Alpha and Omega. Jesus fucking Christ. Christ, Jesus motherfucking Christ. Rising from the dead, you haters gotta kill him twice. Jesus fucking Christ, Jesus motherfucking Christ. You want a miracle? He would rather fuck your wife. Jesus fucking Christ, Jesus motherfucking Christ. A different piece of pussy almost every fucking night. Jesus fucking Christ, Jesus motherfucking Christ. Obey the golden rule, illusion, motherfucking life. Here's the body, here's the bread. Now get down on your knees and give the Son of God some head. Bless him, Heavenly Father, for you know that he has sinned. Last night he popped a molly and fucked Mary Magdalene. Got some coke up in his nose, some lines up on the table. This the gospel of Jack Daniels, not some pussy Bible fable. No. Word to his apostles, cause the Savior rolls deep and wash your feet, refill your drink and cure your fucking leprosy. You good. And all these Roman bitches wanna stand in line and beg them. Need forgiveness for your sins? Bitch, you gotta fucking bang them. Show us so why you deserve eternity in heaven. Bring that bread, that's 11, then the Jesus gets a reckoner. Make some fucking noise for the Alpha and Omega. Jesus fucking Christ, Jesus motherfucking Christ. Rising from the dead, you haters gotta kill him twice. Jesus fucking Christ, Jesus motherfucking Christ. You want a miracle? He would rather fuck your wife. Jesus fucking Christ, Jesus motherfucking Christ. A different piece of pussy almost every fucking night. Jesus fucking Christ, Jesus motherfucking Christ. Obey the golden rule, illusion, motherfucking life.
I'm here with your dad. Welcome back, dude.
What's up? What's up, listeners?
So it keeps freezing. My camera keeps freezing. I don't know whether it's trying to connect to your non-camera or what, or it's just the crappy hotel Wi-Fi I have. Who knows? But anyway,
I think it's a divine thing. I think they just don't want us talking about this cool radical Jesus, man.
That's possible. So, yeah. So tell us about this cool radical Jesus, man.
Oh, dude, it's like JFC is like the cooler, more rad alter ego of Jesus, man. He's riding around town and he's got like a red Camaro and the top's down and he's just rotating between different chicks, man. He's got one and then he drops one off in Bethlehem and then he drives over to Jerusalem. He gets another one and he's just running through them, dude. That's JFC.
Okay, so where are you getting this information from? I know there's a whole bunch of what they call apocryphal gospels, which other stories of Jesus that didn't make it into the official Bible. Is this one of those or what?
Well, listen, the Bible is it's open for interpretation, right? So I think there's a lot of stuff, like you said, apocryphal stuff that didn't quite get in there that might have been a little too much. You know, people aren't ready for the kind of realness that JFC was bringing them. Everybody wants to gloss over stuff, you know, and he's so pious. He didn't do anything. I don't think so. I think this dude was raging, right?
He was a partier, you know?
Yeah. You got to live it to talk about it. I think you have to descend into the depths of hell to know which devil you're battling against, you know?
Well, that actually is canon. He did that, supposedly.
Yeah, exactly. And he came back and he was like, I kicked that dude's ass, but I got to tell you, he had some good ideas. And also, I like ecstasy.
Sure, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
I mean, if I could turn water into wine, I would definitely be partying.
Well, that's the thing. That's the giveaway, right? That's the giveaway. Because he could have turned like tap water into fancy sparkling water, right? No, he didn't do it. He turned it into Fireball. And he did a couple shots. And then he looked over at Mary Maggs and he was like, let's do it. And she said yes, you know. And there we have it.
There we have the gospel according to your dad.
Yeah, exactly. The lost book, man.
That's what I want to see. I want to see this in church on Sunday.
Mark and Luke and John, those guys, they kept the truth out. The truth, I should say. TRUF.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah. They fought, and thanks to me, finally, thanks to your dad, they finally lost. So listen to your dad, and don't read the Bible.
Finally be told.
Yeah. Don't listen to John and Matthew and Mark. Listen to your dad.
Well, it's good enough for me. Good a source as any.
Yeah, I mean, really, honestly, I mean, at this point, yeah, it is.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, this
so
was.
tell us about the song itself when you were writing the song or doing the music.
Oh man, you know, I found the beat, and I went to Catholic school my whole life, and I'm a big I've read a lot of the Bible. I think it's kind of it's an interesting thing. You know, it's a great book. The stories are pretty ridiculous, and so those references and stuff that I sort of like speckle in the song, just kind of come from that. You know, and listen, we're trying to be as ridiculous as possible, right? Because these are pretty ridiculous fucking times that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
And why not just goddamn go all the way with it? You know, no reason
You
not
have
to.
to
And
these days because you know people have been saying that like if you wrote a fictional novel and chronicled everything that's happened in the past 10 or 20 years, like nobody would believe it.
no, people would be checked out by like 2004.
Yeah,
they'd be like, people are wearing jerseys oversized and backwards with the player's name on the front. That's not happening. That's never going to happen. Come on. Nobody's going to wear giant Jinko jeans, and they're sure as hell not going to make a comeback and cost $2,000 20 years after the fact. No way.
Yes, it's tough doing comedy in these days because you have to out ridiculous the real, and that's hard.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, right. We're fucking living in satirical times, you know. It's good.
Oh, I love that. I love that phrase. That's so good.
Yeah,
we're living in satirical times. That is so good.
Maybe that was divine influence. Maybe Jesus is listening to this conversation and he's like, I'm going to throw this dude a bone. Your dad is awesome. And he's got a bigger dick than me.
See, there you go. We have official confirmation, you know.
Yep. Your dad's dick is bigger than Jesus, baby.
That wasn't what I was talking about, but okay, sure.
Yeah. I just like, I really hate, and again, went to Catholic school. I'm a Catholic, but I really, it just disgusts me how people twist, a religion, which should be a good thing. And they use it for such evil and selfish aims and selfish goals.
Yep.
And I feel like this is if you're listening to this song and you're like, oh, first of all, you should be like, whoa, this is ridiculous. But you shouldn't turn it off and just say, as a religious person, I'm just offended. If that's your goal, then are you really better than those crazy Muslim guys who murdered that French teacher because he had the audacity to mention Muhammad in his class? I mean, that's what we're up against. That's the kind of militant, anti-intellectual forces we're up against.
Yep. Satirical times, as you said.
Yeah. And you at this point, fight fire with fire, but don't fight fire with violence or any nonsense like that. Fight fire with something cutting, with something that cuts and makes people think, you know?
Truth to power. Yep. That's the way to do it.
Fight fire with satire.
Fight fire with, dude, you're just coming up with all the good ones today.
Yeah. Maybe I'm better than Jesus. Maybe I'm wittier than that dude.
You put out your album, call it Bigger Than Jesus, and you know,
in all sorts of ways.
All right, dude. So do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Nothing officially. We got some new stuff coming this summer. Been writing, so we're gonna put on. I'll send them over to you guys. We'll have 2 or 3 more songs that will be very good. So we'll have those, on the FuMP at some point this summer.
Awesome.
And yeah, and other than that, just still looking to do some video production because people like to see stuff. They like to see videos, right? They like to see. Yeah. I mean, that's the grabber. So yeah, I think we'll specifically I got another song coming out on the FuMP in December, not to ruin anything. It's really good. It's really funny, really lighthearted. People have a good time listening to it, but we're trying to make a video for that specifically.
We got plenty of time with that one. So
Yeah, exactly. So that's you'll have a real good time with that one. So yeah, that should hopefully happen and be ready to go by fall and winter, and yeah.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you for joining us on this makeshift ramshackle podcast we're doing this week.
Yeah. Thank Devo.
What was that? You cut out.
I said thanks.
Oh, cool. Well, thanks for coming on, and we will catch you next time.
No problem. See you, Devo.
Check. All right. Let's try this again. All right. So, in the interest of getting this show done, I'm going to insert the YerDad interview later and just move on to feedback. So, apologize to the people who are watching live.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback.
Feedback.
You know that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback.
Feedback.
For who could ever learn to love a beast?
Father Beast wrote. Okay, so actually, I think this was written on the previous week's episodes. Or, yes. Okay, so Devo and Luke are both close to their colonoscopy. When I had mine, I was singing Steve Goody's endoscope song to all the nurses in attendance during the hour-long prep. And even all the way to when I faded out and they put me to sleep. I even got a couple of grins. And Father Beast continues, okay, Luke, you were saying that you always used to check the Funny 25 for how many songs had come out the year of that countdown. But when you told us that there was only one song from the FuMP on the Funny 25 this last year, you didn't say how many songs from the countdown came out last year. Are you trying to say that this one song from the FuMP on the countdown was the only song on the countdown that came out last year? I'm not going to answer for Luke, but I think there was at least one or two other songs on the countdown that were new this year. And Father Beast continues, okay, I'm a bit confused. When I decided to make a request for Dr. D some years ago, there was this possibility of just making a request in a quick form on the website, but for a request to count for the countdown, you had to send him an email. Did they change it so you can be counted for the countdowns just by giving a like on Facebook? That seems stilted. So I think what he does is he posts a post on Facebook saying, request your top 10 songs here, and people, post in the comments their requests, and then every like counts as another request, but only on those. But you can post regularly in the show saying that you're just making a request for him to play a song. I don't know if those likes count towards the top 10 or not. All right.
One sleep. That's nice. 2 sleeps.
Two Sleeps wrote, just wanted to take a moment to congratulate Lee on his promotion to Executive Vice President of Newsletter Operations. I look forward to his video news segments and inevitable mental breakdown. That is a reference to the FuMP April Fool's newsletter, for those of you who haven't read that. And Hamnerhack wrote, that words on banana trick sounds good. We'll definitely have to try it. Let me share my banana trick. Take a needle and thread, poke the needle through the skin of the banana in one of the banana's edges. Try not to go too deep into the fruit. Run the needle through to the next edge and repeat until you go all the way around the banana. Pull the thread out and you have just sliced the banana inside its peel. I did this to my dad's banana, and when he came home from work, he tossed the peel at me and said, I don't know how you did it, but I know it was you. Here's a link to the directions on how to do it. And then he posts a link. You can read that on the comments for last week's episode. Last week's episode. And
Alvarant
wrote, Devo, are there any horror franchises you won't touch? Are there any tropes that will make you nope out of a movie? The one genre of horror that I don't particularly care for is what they call torture porn. There was a big renaissance of that in the early 2000s. I think it started with the movie Hostel, and there were a whole bunch of just movies just watching people get tortured for 2 hours. It's just kind of not really my thing. I mean, I will still watch them, but given the choice, I'd rather something else. As far as tropes, not particularly, but there is one trope that I just pisses me off, and that is like the bad guy has the good guy cornered. There is no way the good guy can get out. Period. And then, as luck would have it, third party comes in and rescues the good guy at the in the nick of time. And oh god damn it, we lost it again. All right. I have to wait for Zoom to realize. Oh, this is nuts. This is fucking insane. And we're going to wait for Zoom to come back because that means I have an internet connection again. I am going to place a very angry phone call to Optimum tomorrow because this started happening as soon as Optimum bought my previously just fine cable company. I'm going to set up the screen capture again. Zoom meeting. There it is. Okay. And start streaming again. And let's see if we're back. Are we back? Are we back? Come on, Twitch. Load for me. Come on. You can do it. Are we back? Okay, we're back. All right. I don't know where we left off with the feedback. I was talking about horror movies. I'm just going to end the show at this point and cut my losses and place a very angry phone call to Optimum tomorrow because a few weeks ago, Optimum purchased my cable provider, and this has kind of been happening ever since. So, and I know they're just going to want to sell me on the upgrade to the more expensive plan, but you know what? I've been using this plan for years. It's just fine. Fuck you, Optimum. All right. Teasing. Screw the promo. Tomorrow's song is Friday's song was by Daniel Eric Finkel. Today's song is by Insane Ian. Tuesday's song is by Joe J. Thomas. This week's Spotify playlist topic is Easter, including bunnies and chocolate. That is already live on Spotify. Go enjoy that. I'm getting the hell out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice. Luke will be back next week, and maybe my internet will start working again. I don't know.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
Devo, your internet sucks. Change it.